Hey, how's it going? Basic Dude Podcast. Good morning. Thanks for being here. Thanks for taking some time to give a listen today. And if you could, do me a big favor. Leave a rating on the show. Follow, subscribe, like, comment, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, all those places. That would do me a huge favor. This morning, we're going to talk about, or I should say today, I guess I didn't realize not everybody listens in the morning. Me, personally, myself, that's when I listen to my podcasts. Not my episodes, but, podcasts that I follow and listen to, like the Keep Fighting podcast. And I would like to, I'll be honest, I'm doing a little appropriation of his an episode he did a couple weeks ago. He was telling a story, and it made me really think about something that I think is a very important topic. Not as only a important topic or skill, really, for us fellow fellows to have, but also to teach to our spouses, our children, friends, nieces, nephews, cousins, uncles, aunts, you name it. Everybody should have this skill in their toolbox all the time, every day, because it's important. So, James, my dear friend over at the Keep Fighting broadcast, he told a story about being in a movie theater one time and kind of noticing something wasn't right with a couple that was kind of off to the side in the arcade area. And I've always been a very big proponent of this. I always try to practice this skill as much as I possibly can when I'm out in public, especially because I work by myself a lot. I have to go in areas where it may not be the most safe or appropriate time or place to be. So this is a skill that I really take to heart, and I try to pass along to my family as well. So today's episode is situational awareness, the skill every dude needs. You don't have to be a Navy SEAL or Jason Bourne to master it. This is real life awareness that helps you avoid sketchy situations, read a room, and then lead with confidence. And how does that make you lead with confidence? So if you are perfect example, like James said, at the movie theater, noticing things, you can read body language. You're paying attention. You're in tune to what's going around, who's where, doing what. You can kind of prevent certain situations from happening. But not only that, especially these days, in the kind of scary world we live in, right? There's a lot of, especially where I live in New York, I've come to realize through some situations lately that due to bail reform in New York State, that the law-abiding innocent people are to hide in their homes, and the criminals are free to go wherever they want to. If you commit felonies up to a certain point, obviously not murder, but if you infringe on other people's life, liberty in pursuit of happiness, you are simply handed a piece of paper saying to show up to court at this point or at this time and day, and you are allowed to walk free. This makes for a very hostile environment, I'm going to say. You need to, and this is why you need to be just as vigilant if you live in a state like this, to notice situations so you can get the fuck out of there before bad shit happens. So with that said, you need to be out in tune with your environment, especially large places like Big W and grocery stores, malls, things of that nature, where certain events happen, and I'm not talking active shooter events. I'm talking anything from, theft, robbery, um, auto theft, um, things of that nature, right? You need to be aware of these situations and be able to lead your family to safety, give them an understanding of, hey, right now some bad shit's happening that I just noticed. We're going to calmly walk to this exit and we are going to leave, without argument, without questioning, without anything. So that's kind of the leadership you need to have, where they know if dad or husband has a certain tone in his voice and is speaking with such conviction that the situation is serious and it's not time to argue or question. It is just time to follow. So, with that said, my dear friend James over at the Keep Fighting podcast also has his business, Kilo Foxtrot Fitness, which has enabled me now, at this point, I am down 40 pounds at my 90-day start, or at my 90-day finish. I was down 30 pounds, and I am proud and happy to say that I am now down 40 pounds from my original weight, which is amazing. Using the tools and guidance and knowledge that he gave to me, and he can also give to you. If you need to get in shape, you need help, you need guidance, you need, someone's ear to bend, someone to keep you accountable and encourage you. I strongly suggest that you go over to Kilo Foxtrot Fitness on all of the social media platforms and contact James, and he'll help you out. He'll, you work with him. Obviously it's his business, so, but he's very flexible on kind of income driven stuff. And, he's just willing to help people be the best version of themselves that he possibly can. He has another, great, client who has lost some weight, also gained some muscle mass that he sees in person. For me, I did it remotely, but if you are in the, I believe it's Bellbrook, Ohio, or Dayton, Ohio area, if you are over there, you can see him in person. He has a little personal fitness gym set up to, everything is tailored to get you to where you need to be, and actual feasible exercises and diet plan that you can actually follow, not some crazy, plan that's just absolutely impossible to keep up with. So, head over there, Kilo Foxtrot Fitness on Facebook, Instagram, Yelp, TikTok. Yeah, he's all over the place. So please check him out if you are in need of his services. I highly suggest it. All right, so moving through, let's figure out what this is. What is situational awareness exactly? We're going to start with the basics. Situation awareness is simply knowing what's going on around you, understanding how it might affect you now or soon, and that's it. It's not paranoia. It's not overthinking. It's awareness. We want to be confident, right? We're not in fear. We're confident. We know where things are. Exits, fire extinguishers, fire alarms, security, employees, things of that nature. And we're paying attention to the people around us. We're reading their faces. We're looking at their waistline. We're looking at their behavior. I saw the craziest fucking video of my life, and I don't know how the fuck this even happened. I can't really tell you where to. It's on one of the deranged Facebook pages that I belong to, where it shows videos of just bad shit happening to people. But I do this as a like a knowledge to know, kind of, it's my own education. for educational purposes, I guess we'll say. Um, this woman walks into a 7-Eleven with a fucking axe in her hands. And nobody pays attention. Nobody leaves the store. The employee is still ringing people out. They're standing at the register. I mean, no one noticed this woman fucking walking through the front door with an axe. And she turns around. She hits the guy who's second in line in the fucking face with an axe, with the sharp side of an axe. And then hits the woman in front of him who's checking out with the axe. And walks out the door. I would have been out of there. And if I was legal to carry, and did carry, you better fucking believe my hand would be at the fucking 4 o'clock position, ready for some bad shit to go down. Because who the fuck is carrying an axe? A woman carrying an axe into a fucking convenience store, right? And this is what I'm talking about. People are so in their own world, they're so fucking disillusioned to what's going on around them that you're putting yourself in danger, right? All right, so here's some more examples. You walk into a bar, you look at the exits, check the vibe of the room. How's it, what kind of crowd's in there? Now, I know we're not supposed to judge books by our covers, but you can have a sense of kind of like what type of people frequent this bar. You're also going to pay attention to who's had too much to drink. They can be a danger to themselves. They can be a danger to others. They're gonna possibly want to fight and instigate, things of that nature. Secondly, you're on a date and you pick up you pick up that the person you're on a date with may seem distracted. Maybe she's uncomfortable, not feeling safe. This is where we're reading body language. We're paying attention to visual cues. Even if you don't really know a person, you can still pick up on, like, hey, she doesn't look happy. She doesn't look, she looks distracted. She looks upset. These are all things that we can definitely pay attention to. So situational awareness is like mental radar. Most guys aren't trained in it, but once you get the hang of it, it changes everything. You feel more confident and you're more in control. So let's break it down with a concept I stole from the military and security training called Cooper's Color Code: 4 colors, 4 mental states. So number 1, we have white. That's unaware. You're walking through life like a zombie. Your head's in your phone, no clue what's going on. Perfect example of this, and I see people do this shit all the time. Texting while crossing the street, or texting while walking. There's many, many, many videos out there of people falling through manhole covers and like open. I know it's a big thing in New York City. Like there's the doors that open to restaurants and bars and stuff for their basement access. People falling into that, getting hit by a bus, getting hit by a truck, being robbed. You're absolutely just not even paying attention to what's going on around you. Number 2 is yellow. Relaxed awareness. This is where you want to live most of the time. You're calm but observant. You're checking your surroundings. You're noticing who's around. Example of this is going to be sitting in a restaurant facing the door. I always face the door. Always, always, always. And usually the people I'm with are pretty confident with allowing me to sit to face the door. They would know that if any issue come up, anything like that I could give the cues and know what's going on. And then number 3, we have orange, focused alert. Something doesn't feel right. You've noticed a potential threat. You're not panicking. You're preparing. Guy in a hoodie pacing outside the gas station at night. Perfect example. At this stage, if I needed gas, I wouldn't stop there. But if I saw that dude, if I pulled in, went to grab my card out of my wallet or whatever, kind of looking around, if I see something like that, I'm the fuck out of there. And then lastly, red, action mode. You've identified a threat, now you're taking action. Leaving, confronting, defending, whatever the situation calls for. Most guys are in white 90% of the time. That's why they get blindsided in relationships, businesses, and fights. The goal is to live in yellow, be ready to shift to orange, and only go to red if you have to. Obviously, the biggest thing that we're going to want to do is avoid confrontation. We have no idea of what the other person has, what mental state they're in, what other people may be with them. This is seen a lot all over the internet. Not a sponsor of the show, but I would say one of the better one of the better YouTube channels that I do watch, and I have watched ever since I was going to get my concealed carry down in Florida and become a lawful gun owner, and carry every day, because it's your responsibility to do the training and have the knowledge to do that. You don't just go pick up a firearm and never shoot it and not know anything about it and just carry it around ready to use it when somebody yells at you for taking their parking spot. It's ASP. Let me check real quick here. It's basically this guy. He goes over these shooting videos. And active self-protection. Sorry, I can't believe I fucking forgot that. Yeah. Active self-protection. He's on YouTube. He goes over like active shooter events and stuff, or robberies, things of that nature for the world. And what he does is he'll show you the video and then he'll break it down piece by piece of who did what wrong, the position they were in, should they have just gotten out of there, stuff like that. So, I watch his videos quite often, and it definitely helps you kind of read the world. But yeah, you need to be ready at all times with, and if you can't carry a firearm legally in your state because, they make it absolutely impossible and your state's run by criminals like where I am now, have a backup plan. See what is lawful to carry for self-defense in your state without permitting or permissions, and invest in self-defense. Right now I'm thinking about possibly, and even from a fitness standpoint, getting into like Muay Thai or Krav Maga, and learning to defend myself, and at the very least, if like I said, it's good exercise, right? And it's something interesting to do besides going to a gym and staring at a TV and running on a treadmill. So, but yeah, these are all methods I'm looking into or do to protect myself and my family when we're out in public. So anyway, let's go into the how, because knowing is cool, but doing is what matters. So what we're going to do first, we're going to observe first. Okay. So there's acronyms always help us remember things. There's a few that I know of, which is like OODA loop and things like that. So I'll try to come up with an acronym as we go through this, but I was just kind of trying to figure this out as I went along here. So number 1A, observe first, react second. Walk into a room and scan. Who's there? What's the energy? Any exits? Anyone giving off weird vibes? Number 2, or B, listen to your gut. Your intuition is ancient. If something feels off, believe it. You're not being rude or paranoid. You're being smart. Next is limit distractions. Heads up, fellas. Your phone is your number one enemy in public. If you're glued to it, you're basically advertising yourself as an easy target. And then lastly, practice mini drills. Make a game of it. When you're out, ask yourself, how many exits did I see? What was the cashier wearing? Who looked upset or out of place? It's not about being perfect. It's just about being a little bit sharper than the average dude. That alone gives you an edge. Yeah, you don't have to be the smartest guy in the room, but at least a little smarter than some asshole who wants to I don't know, fuck with you, I guess. Even when it comes to like staying in hotels and stuff, I mean, I travel a lot. You don't want to stay on the first floor, but you also don't want to stay on, I think it's any floor above the fourth floor. First floor is usually a target for robbery and stuff because it's the first floor, easy exit, no stairways, no elevator to contend with, nothing like that. And then I think from the third or fourth floor you can safely jump out a window if there's a fire, um, and survive it. You might have broken bones or something, but you can get out if there's a fire out a window or something. Um, there's another thing also. Um, you know, it may sound a little extreme, but I don't know. Basically, what you want to do is you want to go to your room when you get to a hotel room, and you want to stop and you want to look for the closest exit, closest fire exit, and then you want to count your steps from your door to that exit, and so that way, if the hallway is full of smoke or you can't see, the power's out, it's dark, stuff like that, because there usually isn't too many windows in a hotel room hallway. You'll have an idea of like how many steps you need to take to get to that exit. This was taught to me by a company that I worked for, their safety coordinator. Yeah, that was one of his things. Like, hey, you don't stay above this floor, and you get to your room and you count how many steps to the fire exit. One of his favorite videos, I guess, to show was it was a nightclub somewhere, and I think it was Great. It was an old '80s band, Great White, I think it was. And the club caught on fire, and a bunch of people got trampled to death. The club was packed over capacity. It was a really dangerous situation. A lot of people died. It was very, very bad. So that was like his thing. Like fire, I guess, was one of his biggest fears. I also believe he was a fireman, also. So, big shout out to our first responders and our firemen. I don't know how you guys do it. I definitely couldn't. But some of the fucking things that you have had to witness in your life are absolutely devastating, and I commend you for having the mental strength to handle that kind of stuff. So thank you for all that you do. All right, moving on here. We'll apply this to real life. We'll get practical. Public places. You're on a run. Do you have earbuds in both ears, or are you leaving one out to hear behind you? What are you doing? Which one? What one do you think it is? Parking garages, ATMs, night walks. Are you scanning or just zoning out? 100%. Always, even at night. We know that most criminal activity happens at night. So definitely be paying attention to that stuff. ATMs. If I'm going to use an ATM because they're positioned in a way where you're kind of vulnerable. I know like my bank, you have to have an access card to get into the ATM. So, I mean, it's not saying that you won't be robbed on your way out, but at least it provides some security when you're going to use your ATM there. If you do a pull-up one, obviously keep your doors locked, all your windows up except for your window, and you're using the ATM. In relationships, reading emotional cues, sensing discomfort, recognizing when someone's lying or hiding something. Yes, you can even apply this to things of that nature. At work or business, being aware of office politics, client moods, reading the room before pitching an idea. I have to deal with a lot of customers, a lot of people. Some are really nice people. I met a really nice guy just the other day. Him and I talked for like hours. Pretty cool dude. Into all the same cool stuff I'm into. A like-minded individual. And had a really great conversation with him. Enjoyed talking to him. Like I said, really nice guy. There are some other people that I come across, and they just don't. They're just assholes. I don't know what their problem is. They're just fucking dickheads. And yeah, keep it short and sweet. Don't tell them any more they need to know. Don't really engage with them. Don't try to chit chat, conversate, nothing like that. Just leave things, short and sweet. Do what you got to do and get the fuck out of there. Plain and simple. Especially when it comes to business, we have to exhibit some self control. Sorry about that. Some self control, verbal self control. So we have to be careful about what we say. And occasionally you'll have some of those people who like to push you to a point where you're about to kind of tell them exactly what you think about them. But we have to, again, that situational awareness. Okay. Running through our heads. All right, I can tell this guy exactly what I think about him and probably lose my job, or at the very least lose him as a customer, which will impact my paycheck and how I can take care of my family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is not an open invitation to have people treat you like shit, but we do have to have some tact when we do certain things. And then lastly, in emergencies, fire alarms, accidents, aggressive people. Are you someone who freezes or someone who moves? Yeah, biggest part about that, staying calm, knowing what's going on around you, having certain skills. Listen, I'm telling you, if at the very least, as men or as people, we need to have a certain toolbox, and that toolbox is full of a couple different things. It's full of experience, it's full of knowledge, and it's full of skills. Okay, so those are our three drawers. Okay, so I want you to picture a toolbox, a 3-drawer toolbox right now. One of the little Craftsman ones, 3 drawers. Get the plumber carries around, stuff like that. In our top drawers, we're going to have knowledge, right? Because without the knowledge, we can't enact the skills. So we need to have knowledge of first aid, situational awareness, how vehicles work, how the mechanics of things. I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. You know what? Maybe I'll do an episode on that. That sounds like I'll break it down, and I'm kind of on the fly right now, so give me a bit of a fucking break here. But so I'm going to say number 1, top drawer, knowledge. Number 2, second drawer, skills. Okay, you have to use that knowledge to enact skills, right? So the skill is knowing how to apply a tourniquet, knowing how to pack a wound, knowing how to stay calm and assess a situation and all that stuff, right? So our knowledge is the stuff in the brain, and then our skills are the stuff with our hands, okay? And then lastly, experience. We have to every experience that we do, we gain more knowledge and more skills. You need to do this purposely, right? This isn't something that you do by accident. You need to make it a point and purposely and be intentional about, my big thing. I mean, we live down in South Florida, hurricanes. During a hurricane, guess what? Nobody fucking shows up. There is no police, there is no hospital, there is no EMS, there is no fire. So you better know if somebody gets hurt in your home, that number 1, you have the knowledge on how to handle that situation, and number 2, you have the skills and the supplies to take care of that stuff. And in every experience that we have, we gain a little bit more knowledge, we gain a little bit more skills. And you can do all this stuff. It's up to you to go ahead, and if you're, learn first aid, learn stop the bleed, learn, take a first aid course, CPR. A lot of this stuff is offered at your local volunteer ambulance corps or fire departments or Red Cross. participate if you're a in self-defense and defending your home and your family and yourself. Firearms courses, or hand-to-hand combat stuff. um, Learning how to fortify your home, or vehicle maintenance, knowing how to change a tire on the side of the road. So that way you're not stranded and you're exposed, and stuff like that. So these are all things that everybody needs to learn, in my opinion. So this is going to keep you safe, and it's going to keep you moving, and it's going to keep you confident, and kind of make you what I like to say, the most dangerous man in the room, right? So anyway, moving on. Situational awareness. It's just external, or it's not just external, it's internal too. So mental triggers to watch: emotional flooding, anger, panic, jealousy blinds you to the room. Staying calm, staying in control. Overconfidence or ego that says, I got this, when you're clearly not tracking what's happening. Another perfect example, folks who, again, I'm going to bring this, I'm going to bring this up another time. People who conceal carry. Just because you have a firearm doesn't mean you know how to use it. Doesn't mean that the other person doesn't have one as well. Doesn't mean that somebody already clocked you and saw your firearm through your shirt because you're printing fucking terribly. Like I said in the beginning, pay attention to people's waistlines, right? That just because you have a firearm doesn't mean that you are invincible. Okay, so you need to stay realistic and humble. And then take care of your mind. Good sleep, clean nutrition, mindfulness. It sharpens your radar. And that's another thing I've also through all this stuff, and I really want you to think about this. If you are and I know this doesn't really have to do with situational. Well, it does, because just because you notice something, you also have to be able to act on it. So if you are, heavily overweight, very out of shape, if you're cruising through fucking Walmart on one of those carts, how you getting out? If you can't walk through the fucking grocery store, how are you saving your fucking family? How are you getting out of there? That's our physical fitness and health and nutrition is all part. If you can't go a day without a medication, how are you supposed to? And if we had a real scenario, I know I'm going off on a tangent. Let me put on my fucking tinfoil hat here, but if we ran into a real fucking scenario here of shit hitting the fan, are you in good enough shape to where you can get out and you can do the things that you need to do? That's number one. You are your biggest tool. Your body is your biggest tool. Without your body, you can't do fucking anything. So you need to take care of it, and you need to train it and maintain it and all that shit. So yeah, that's all part of taking care of yourself. But yes, anyway, good sleep, clean nutrition, mindfulness, it sharpens your radar. Gives you mental clarity to pay attention to what's going on. So I'll wrap up here. We're 33 minutes in, all that shit. I think we're doing okay on time, I guess. All right, my dudes, let's land this plane. Situational awareness isn't just for the military or action movies. It's for you. It's for everyday situations. It's about owning your environment, protecting your people, and moving through life with intention. Big word there, intention. Do everything with intention. So I got a challenge of the week for you. I want you to spend 3 days this week practicing self-awareness drills, or awareness drills. I want you to observe a new detail every time you walk into a room. I want you to spot exits. I want you to notice people's moods, see what changes in your vibe and confidence. If you have kids, and a spouse, here's what I want you. Here's another challenge. This is a separate challenge. I want you to sit down. I want you to go over kind of what we covered here today. I want you to talk to them about the importance of knowing where exits are, knowing where phones are, knowing where, paying attention to the people around you, knowing where fire alarms are, um, security, people in the store. I want you to make them aware of all of this. Okay. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a field trip. You're going to go to the grocery store, and obviously you're not going to tell them this. This is going to be part of the quiz here. You're going to walk in the grocery store and you're going to ask them, okay, where's the closest fire exit right now? We passed a person. We passed a person 10 seconds ago. What color shirt were they wearing? These are all important things, right? You need to know. I don't know how many times it happens, but somebody will get like, I don't know, assaulted, or their car will get stolen or something like that, and they don't know their own license plate number. They don't know what the person looks like, what color skin they have, what color clothes they're wearing, how tall, male, female, color hair. I mean, they're totally fucking oblivious. They're in such a fucking panic and meltdown that their mind just goes fucking blank. Okay. That's the problem. That's a big problem. So yeah, do that exercise with your wife and kids, and when you're out about running around, just throw shit out there, and it's an everyday practice. Every time we go somewhere new, we're in a new situation. Just because it's a familiar place, it's always going to be a strange place, because you're going to have different people there, different people shopping, different time of day, different weather, different everything. So it's something that we constantly have to do. Anyway, we'll wrap up here. Listen, if you really enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend, because a world full of more aware men, that's a safer, stronger, better world. What do I always say? As men, we are here to serve. We are here to serve our fellow man, our family, our children, wives, and each other, strangers. I mean, if you come across the stranger that may be in distress and need help, it's kind of up to us to, maybe take the time to, and have the knowledge and skills to help that person out. With that said, thanks for listening. Please like, follow, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You can get a hold of me through the old email, or DM me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I think that's about really all I'm using these days. And yeah, thanks for taking a listen. Have a great rest of your week, and remember, be the man that you are meant to be.